Well, hey, everyone. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today for October, I was about to say August, October 29th, 2025, run through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing, etc., etc. Hey, Ultronymous, GMKLX, good to see you guys. Let's get started with what I've been playing. Hopefully you guys have been having a good week. It's Wednesday. I feel like the week's gone by pretty quick. I was out of town Monday, came back, tons of work to catch up with yesterday. And then now we're here. But yeah, let's start with what I've been playing. And not much. So what's interesting is since we talked yesterday, the Castlevania Advance Collection has an additional hour. That was done from last night, but it says 27th. So again, I use Exophase as a way to track. Sometimes, especially I think more with Nintendo titles, it takes some time to sync up. But yes, yesterday just played a little bit of Harmony of Dissonance. It's funny because I was playing Order of Ecclesia, and as soon as I started Harmony of Dissonance, that game just took over. Yeah, just playing it mainly because it's a good Halloween type game. And there's some other games I want to play right now. I'm just kind of money-wise kind of waiting before I make those purchases, like Double Dragon, Silent Hill F. But yeah, so not that I haven't really been playing that much, but yeah, Castlevania Advance Collection. I saw Ultronymous is in the chat. I want to say his Patreon has something that he's playing through the Advance Collection. I think from the screenshot it looked like Circle of the Moon. I got that notification this morning, so I haven't really dived in yet. But this is a good time of the year to play the Castlevania games. That's how it gets me usually, is either I come across it or someone posts about it, the time you're in, I'm like, oh, Castlevania. And then I go in and out as I'm playing other games. You know how it is. Oh, so here's what's cool. Speaking of Castlevania, because it is that, time of year and all that. What's going on? So I have a video up on the site or on this YouTube channel, that is a review of the Super Deluxe Dominus Collection, which is fantastic. Comes with the game on the Switch, bunch of other stuff. And then I have, that I showed off here, the Advanced Collection from Super Deluxe. That I have already shot it. I just need to edit it and post it for review. But then lastly, and I haven't opened it yet, the Anniversary Collection from Super Deluxe. So this actually is the full Castlevania collection, minus some games. So I don't know if that's going to be another thing, because what's interesting is Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood. What is it called? Rondo of Blood? Yeah, in Japan, that was on TurboGrafx 16. Those games had their own Requiem collection, only on PlayStation 4. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's licensing or Sony asked for that, but we haven't got another Symphony of the Night release on like Switch. Switch needs Symphony of the Night. There's so many versions you can play, but the latest one is locked on the PS4. It would be cool if they did it where it was the Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood, and then the Japanese version, and I think they called it Dracula X, even though there's an SNES Dracula X that is on the Advanced Collection. But anyway, there's still those games left to play, so or to get. So it would be cool to add to the collection. I mean, to be honest, as a huge Castlevania fan, I love that I have it. It's not a huge. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it has a bunch of games and music. The music part is my favorite, and that's why I'm really wanting to get the Symphony of the Night collection and this sort of thing, even though I have the vinyls. Both Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night have some of the best music. I say that about all of them. It's like my favorite Gundam. There's not a favorite Gundam. There's not a favorite Castlevania soundtrack. Let's see. The Requiem collection used the PSP version as the basis for those. That's probably the reasoning. Yeah. So yeah, that could be a really good way to put it, because it has to do with if Sony published it or not. I don't know. But the Switch and PC needs Symphony of the Night. It's so crazy that Symphony of the Night is not on the Switch or PC. I mean, sure, Xbox. It's on Xbox. Symphony of the Night is on Xbox. That's what's crazy. Okay, well, let's move into some news. Actually, okay, that because playing not too much, showing off my Castlevania Super Deluxe Collection for Halloween. Isn't that fun? Yeah, because Halloween's coming up. And you know what? Originally, I was going to get a Superman costume, but due to again trying to be careful with funds, money, again with my daughter moving in, a lot has changed. Not buying the Superman costume. I think I'm just going to wear my Batman costume from last year, but I'm not going to wear the muscle suit since maybe I have muscles now. I don't know. We'll see when I put on that black spandex. But okay, yeah, let's jump into some news. So, net bookings down as EA suspends earnings calls and guidance. So basically, this is really just a segment that we can acknowledge that EA is no longer going to be the EA that it was. It doesn't mean it's going to be better, but this sort of corporate triple A stranglehold on the games market to where, games were being made by committee. That was really what emerged out of the 2000s once corporations saw how much money they can get out of the gaming thing. It just became about, let's use this as a business model, and it lost sort of that art of gaming because where they're going is the same place that SNK went. Okay, and I will say that the SNK games that are coming out are still good, and they're re-releasing them. So there's a part of me that feels like EA's in a better position. It's not like EA has any like legacy IP. They just have this current IP that could potentially be riskier. So that Metal Slug game that came out under the, it's not the exact same company, but that's sort of new age, I guess, way of having games. Anyway, that Metal Slug game plays just like a Metal Slug game. It just has all the microtransactions. So I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see games getting real gamey back to their roots. But there's going to be all these monetization things on top of it. So we'll see. I just think it's I just wanted to bring this up because this definitely means for sure 100% times have changed. Like, when we talk about like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, we talk about how, Microsoft is not a video game company. They just sell Xbox. Sony's not a video game company. They just sell PlayStation. And both of those are volatile for their, the rest of the company. And that's Microsoft and Sony. And I feel like and I guess what I'm trying to say is you could see when a video game company or entity gets large enough, like EA, like Sony, like Microsoft, where not that they're the video game entity, but the video game entity of these, it's unsustainable. So Nintendo works because they are only video games, and they're selling hardware. I think with EA, a company like EA, it's really hard over time because if you're just constantly positioning your games to milk monetization, it's weird because it's like they almost get too big for themselves, but then a private company can come and buy. It's all still very interesting. Like the game industry is completely different. I don't think this necessarily means like it's all about the indie titles. I think this is widen that space for that middle market where people can make games because they want to make games, price it, budget it. So anyway, times have changed. EA is gone, and so is the way the industry used to work. Okay, I want to check this out. Mana Wave. What a horrible night to have occurs tomorrow, October 29th. Now, 9 a.m. Eastern would make me think that's 8 a.m. Central. So does that mean there's something they've announced? Let's hit refresh. Here we go. Castlevania Piano Collections. Manowave Media is proud to present, under official license from Konami, a brand new piano collection celebrating the Castlevania series, featuring all new arrangements and performances by these individuals here. Benjamin Nuss. Don't want to. Hey, I know I was kind of downplaying. I was like, but this is awesome. Raymond van Ingelhoven, I guess. And then artwork by Betty Wan Jang or something. Okay. Oh, additionally, Betty's Critical album artwork will be available as a timed. Okay, so that is cool looking. The artwork's cool. I don't know what the tracks are. Let's go look and see. Oh, that's weird. It went to the wrong. Did I click the? Yeah. What am I doing? Okay, so Side A: Vampire Killer, Out of Time, Blade of Tears, Beginning Clock, Aquarius Riddle, Battle of the Holy, Simon Belmont Sing, Divine Bloodlines, Dance of Illusions, Iron Blue Intention, Dragon's Gun, Marble Gallery, Dance of Pearls, Lost Pain, Crystal, Wandering Ghost, Lament House. Okay, so this seems to stick to earlier games. If I'm not mistaken, I don't see anything from Advance or DS at all. It seems to be. I mean, it has Lament of Innocence. And maybe some of these other songs I don't recognize, but it seems to be old stuff. Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to get this, but that is really cool. So, wait, this looks cool. From the depths of Zebes, or Zebes, Super Metroid Resynthesized. That sounds awesome. You can listen to the tracks here. Wait, let me. Sorry, I know I'm really curious, but I want to hear I know this is. Let's get to the stage music. I know it's like it happens after when you go back. Yeah. No, it's even after this because you have to get something and then the music changes. There we go. So what I like about it, and I don't know if you guys can hear it that well. It's at 23. Let me do. It sounds exactly like it, just like more modern, like resynthesized. That's actually pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Jam Kills love the soundtrack. Yeah, Super Metroid, the music in Super Metroid is amazing. And it's cool because it's so like I was clicking through to the next because I knew the main level music started after a certain point in the game. It's like storytelling. The music and the storytelling in this really well done. Okay. Yeah, let's move on. What was this? Halo-inspired fan game is now available on Super Free. Oh, yeah, I retweeted this. So this is interesting. So Spartan Survivors. You fight Covenant. I mean, it's in the description. This is not made by Halo Studios or Microsoft. And Halo Studios, Microsoft, remember the big corporation that we're all like, big corporation bad. They told them, yeah, go ahead and put it out there. It's free, but it gives this developer a lot of, they have to pay to put this on Steam. So there's a lot of things in place to make this seem like it's something official. It's not, but Microsoft and Halo Studios gave them the blessing to do this. Would that ever happen with any other IP? Do you guys know any other IP? Because it's funny how sometimes someone will work on like a fan game and then the people online are like, you can't do that. You're going to be told to shut that down. Yeah, here we are with this Spartan Survivors. It's pretty cool. Now, how very Sega of them, Ultronymous, that was a good reference. Because, yeah, Sega has been like that, especially with Sonic stuff. And the thing is, I probably won't play this. And, I got out of this whole survivor-like thing, but I think it's really cool. If it looked different or if it seemed to do something different, but I think it's just more of someone wanted to make a fun survival-like, and then they just threw in, the Spartan stuff. So, um, that's that. Let's move on. Next one. Okay. It's funny that people think about the console PC as two different things. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella drops biggest hint yet that the next Xbox is basically a PC. Now, this just came out, this report. I don't know if it's based on a previous article. Remember, the biggest gaming business is the Windows business, Nadella began. To us, gaming on Windows and, of course, Steam has built a massive marketplace on top of it. And they've done a very successful job. Now, we're the largest publisher after the Activision deal. Therefore, we want to be a fantastic publisher. So, second, we also want to do innovative work in the system side on the console and on the PC. So, I guess we could keep reading this, blah, blah, blah. He's not saying anything different that he's ever said before. But I guess it's good to see that, Microsoft is still kind of laying this out. And really, the next Xbox is basically PC. In fact, your PlayStation 5 is basically a PC. Right now, the way consoles, all video game playing devices work are essentially the same now. It's just a matter of what is that user experience of that dedicated machine. And I think what Microsoft has realized that they can do, and this is what their R&D is with like the Xbox Ally, is, yeah, we can sell a PC that has more of a gamer first layer to it, because I could just as easily, grab my PC, plug it up into the living room, start playing. It's a little cumbersome, but essentially it's easy. You have a controller, you turn it on, you press the guide button, Steam Big Picture will open, and then you can play your games. It's very easy. But even that might be hard for people, right? And this is what I learned when the ROG Ally first came out, and all the negative reviews and commentary around it are just people that aren't used to PC gaming. So for them, they're like, what is this? It's like, it's a PC. So what we're seeing here is, and I wonder how much there is a split, because I always thought, well, it's kind of weird because you have people that like gaming, but it could just be Fortnite, Nintendo, stuff like that. But then you have people that might be used to gaming on PC, but how adept to PC building and maintaining are people that are into the PC gaming? And maybe not much, especially when you come up with issues. Are these people that are wanting to upgrade their PCs to be at maximum, or are they just having a PC because they can have a PC? I guess what I'm saying is that is a market that can be tapped into. And it's exactly what Valve has tried, especially with their little Steam boxes, and what Microsoft is now doing. It's, you get the full benefits of a PC, but in a more streamlined, marketable package where you could just be in your living room, plug in the HDMI and power, turn it on, and it does everything in the back end for you. That is where I think there's potential, and Microsoft is trying to get there. So, yeah, I think it would be interesting to see what happens. A PC-like OS for consoles would be cool. You'd be surprised, Steven. I know you don't have an Xbox, but you can literally go to the browser. You can launch browser-based things. It's like it's almost there. And I think what keeps it from fully being a PC OS on the console is like probably that design from the ground up. So I think what they're doing now is no, let's take the whole the Windows PC side and then put layers on it. So yeah, the new Xbox. Actually, I wonder if I have Xbox ROG Ally experience. So this is what I think they're going to try to do. I wonder if I can easily bring up
and it is the same 7-inch IPS
when
display
it's
that
booted,
features a
because
resolution of 19 updates, and I did confirm from
okay, so yeah, it's booting up, blah blah blah, Microsoft. So yeah, it has like this even touchscreen interface, but it's okay. Yeah, you see how the guy will still go into Windows. So I think that's the thing that's missing from the modern console. Yeah, you can get to a browser, you can kind of do little things, but you can't like get into the systems. Um, will the XPC have mouse controlled main UI? I think so because it's probably both. I think it defaults to the controller, like we're seeing here. Let me see when we get to the where is it? Full screen experience. Yeah. So because I have a ROG Ally, I'm used to this. It's you launch it, or if you guys have Steam on your PC, just enter big picture mode. Basically, by default, like with my ROG Ally plugged into my TV, I turn it on and I'm in this screen where I'm just using my controller. So I don't even have a mouse hooked up to the ROG Ally in my living room. Well, I do have a wireless keyboard mouse if I need to use it. But I guess what they're trying to do is, yeah, someone can have this. No, there's no screen on it. You plug it into your TV. You have a full PC, but the interface is this sort of easy to use gamepad first interface, which I think is completely possible and doable. But I think what's happening is this market issue right now where you're having people that are younger that are kind of, see you, Chris. You have people that are younger that are getting into, I don't know, either PCs, consoles, and some people are sort of being raised with like more knowledge of PCs than maybe some people right now that never really used PCs, but always used consoles. And so again, there's this market that it's almost like Microsoft is ushering in this market, like pushing it in. You know what I mean? Like that sounded odd. It forcing things just like they did in the 80s originally with Windows, or not. It wasn't Windows. It was DOS or whatever it was, where they're like, no, everything is a DOS box. Okay, because you know how they're doing everything is an Xbox. Everything is a DOS box. I need to make those as meme images and post them on Twitter. The Xbox Rogue Ally looks really cool, but yeah, the OS tends to behave more like a phone than a PC. And well, on I would say it's more like a phone. It is way more. I mean, more like a PC. It's way more like a PC. The phone thing, not really. It's trend setting instead of trend following. Yeah. So I think that's what the whole thing is, Steven. I have no idea really what the end result really is going to look like right now. There's this mix of the console-like experience, the Windows-like experience. People need the mouse. Do you need a mouse? Do you need to go deep into the system settings, or is there a way to easily get into system settings? So I think Microsoft is still figuring this out. And I think that's why we see a lot on Twitter. People are mad or angry and confused because I don't think we all know what it's going to be like. I would look this like the when the iPhone first came out with the touchscreen, and people were like, how can we use phones with touchscreens and type and play games? That's not a thing. It's like adapting to it, forcing it. That is interesting, Stephen, bringing up the trend setting in that, because it also reminds me of like, how often do corporations do this where they are pushing things that, oh, we know we can make money if we get people to adopt this. I don't know. Okay, I think I spent a lot of time on that topic, but I'm just excited about all this more than I guess people are when I'm online and I'm doing research for Twitter. Again, Twitter, it's the best place to get up to date news, but it's also the worst place to see people's responses. But yeah, I think, let's see. I think once Microsoft gets to that point, I guess and I don't know, I think Sony will do it at the same time as well. I don't know. Let's just see. I feel like we could talk about this forever. I concur. Many of my fellow RPG enthusiasts like the Switch, ROG, and Steam Deck compatible releases because it's portable, like read a book anywhere. Yeah, just like, and that's what it is. It's the portability is more of a convenience to continue playing a game. Not that that's the only way to play a game, because like when I went out of town this weekend on the plane, I was able to just continue playing my Castlevania game and then plug it in and play it on the TV. I love it. Okay. Let's see. I think I've pretty much hit um all my main points. I think some other funny thing was they talked about how Kojima was offered a chance to make a Matrix game and he turned it down, but apparently he didn't know about that and he would have done it. But he also said he was busy with Metal Gear Solid 2, so it might have been hard to do that. So that's interesting. But I think that's about it. I guess I'll be back tomorrow with some more. We'll do a special like Halloween episode where we'll talk about, I guess, maybe some of the coolest Halloween type games. Not necessarily that they are scary games, but what's some games that are just cool Halloween games? I think Castlevania is the answer to that, but there's probably more. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna head out, guys. I'm gonna head out a little early, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.